You can see why they wanted to call a halt to it, if only temporarily, while they restock their defensive interceptor missiles. And Steve Bannon, who is a Trump supporter and was an aide to Trump in his first term, he picked up this reason for the ceasefire as well.
Yesterday they took this ceasefire was as much to save Israel. That's the hidden story here. They bit off way more than they could chew. They were played out as far. Yesterday was a brutal day for the citizens of Israel. Took horrible incomings, particularly in Tel Aviv, and I guess Beersheba also. They needed this because they were running out of defensive ammunition. And President Trump stepped in there with the help of Qatar. Look, you know, we've come a long way since 7 years ago when Qatar, would not work with us on stopping the financing of Islamic terrorism, the financing of it. And they come a long way. They've stepped in the middle of the situation in Gaza, and they stepped in the middle here, and President Trump is going out of his way to praise them. And he's not going out of his way to praise Netanyahu's government, which I think is getting to be an issue.
Trump, things were also getting out of hand. You had the MAGA base at war with itself, at least at the influencer level. And you had the attacks by Iran, symbolic as they may have been, on the airbase, the American airbase in Qatar. And there was a possibility that this very much could escalate. And so it was in Trump's interest as well to put an end to it. And also, there was the potential for Iran to close the Strait of Hormuz, with potentially catastrophic consequences for the shipment of oil from the Gulf around the world. But hey, no, none of that is true. Trump's a hero. He was playing 5D chess, and he should get the Nobel Peace Prize for stopping a war that he and Israel started. Well done. So Bannon said there that Israel is an issue, and it is a bloody issue. Israel controls the United States, and a stream of other countries come to that. And the funding that Trump has received in his election campaigns from Israel sources is absolutely fantastic. They own him. And you know, when you see this, oh, he's fallen out with Netanyahu. Well, interestingly, just a few weeks ago, we had that line. Oh, he's fallen out with Netanyahu, and Netanyahu, oh dear, the relationship's in trouble. And then Trump supports the Israeli attacks on Iran, and then supports them with US bombing. And now, oh no, it's all gone sour. Israel owns him, and he'll do in the end what Israel says. He always has. So, yeah, Bannon says there's an issue with Israel. There is. This is the issue. People voting for Trump, but getting Netanyahu. And not only him, getting Trump funder Miriam Adelson, the ultra Zionist. The issue is that Netanyahu sits in Trump's head and directs his foreign policy for this second term, and owns almost everyone on Capitol Hill through funding by Israel through its American arm, AIPAC. And here's a really telling moment this week when the Pentagon spokesperson, Tammy Bruce, yet another Fox News contributor, made it clear what her priorities are when it comes to America or Israel.
Of being able to be here and do work that facilitates making things better for people, and in the greatest country on earth, next to Israel. It's an honor to be able to make a difference and to be able to speak in this regard with an administration that I love so much and that I feel genuinely represented by. It's a real honor.
Next to Israel says it all, and that is the mentality that runs the American government, and pretty much not just under Trump, although he's an extreme version of it, but under the Democrats as well. And it's not just America. This is a story from this week. Israel lobby funded half of Keir Starmer's cabinet. Pro-Israel lobbyists have donated to 13 out of Labour's 25 cabinet members since they were first elected to Parliament, Declassified can reveal. The list of recipients includes Prime Minister Keir Starmer, his deputy Angela Rayner, Chancellor Rachel Reeves, Foreign Secretary David Lammy. Foreign Secretary takes money from Israel's sources, and Home Secretary Yvette Cooper. Jonathan Reynolds, who will oversee arms exports to Israel as UK Trade Secretary, is another beneficiary alongside Labour's election mastermind Pat McFadden, whose responsibilities now include national security. Some of the donations were provided by Labour Friends of Israel, the LFI, a lobby group which takes MPs on fact-finding missions to Israel and the region. Fact-finding missions means they are given the propaganda. Reeves, McFadden, Reynolds, and Technology Secretary Peter Kyle were recently listed as vice chairs of the Labour Friends of Israel. Other major funders include pro-Israel businessmen Trevor Chin and Stuart Roden. The total value of donations amounts to over £300,000. The Labour Friends of Israel does not disclose its funders. You do surprise me. But it was revealed during an undercover Al Jazeera documentary in 2017 to have close relations with the Israeli embassy in London. What are people in politics doing taking money from Israel when they're supposed to be impartial? Why does AIPAC fund the great majority of people on Capitol Hill? Because they like them. To get what they want, of course. It's everywhere. And here's another story from this week to give you a feeling of where that money is coming from and what it's really funding. Quit the regime in 12 hours or you and your family are next, Mossad tells Iranian generals. Israel's shadowy intelligence agency, Mossad, threatened Iranian generals and their families with imminent assassination if they did not quit the Ayatollah's regime, it's been revealed. The country launched its first wave of strikes on Iran on June the 13th, targeting military leaders and top nuclear scientists. And in the hours after the first wave, intelligence operatives from Mossad began a covert campaign to intimidate and destabilize Tehran's regime by calling them on their personal mobile phones. The Washington Post reported that Persian-speaking Mossad agents called over 20 senior officials in Tehran and told them that they and their families would be killed if they did not renounce the rule of this Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, Iran's supreme leader. One Israeli operative reportedly told a senior general, quote, "I can advise you now, you have 12 hours to escape with your wife and child. Otherwise, you're on our list right now." He reportedly added, "We're closer to you than your own neck vein. Put this in your head. May God protect you." This is the psychopathy. This is the brutality, the cold, calculated brutality that you are taking money from politicians of the world. This general, who the newspaper did not name, was told he had just 12 hours to make a video denouncing the regime. He reportedly seemed willing to go through with the plan at the time, asking the Mossad agent, "How should I send it to you?" It's not currently clear if the general ever made the video, though the Washington Post reported that the man is believed to be still alive and in Iran. The Mossad psychological warfare operation doesn't appear to have deterred Iran, which is just as well, given its incessant and constant. It's unbelievable. You know, I'm banned from 30 European countries and Australia for pointing this out since 1994-95. You know, anyone that wanted to do some research into this knows the pure evil that is driving the Israeli regime, and it owns Trump, and it owns America, and it owns the Starmer government, and goodness knows how many besides. And look at the number of wars, the number of dead people that Israel has instigated. Not just by its own violence, but how it's manipulated upheavals in other countries covertly. So these are the psychopaths that control Trump and his regime. And Trump bombs a country and then thanks God and tells God how much he loves him. This is a Trump who has no connection whatsoever to Christianity, but uses it because his MAGA base is into Christianity. And that's the only reason. So the God that Trump loves must be Yahweh then, the God of Israel.
I want to just say we love you, God, and we love our great military. Protect them. God bless the Middle East. God bless Israel. And God bless America. Thank you very much.
It's pathetic to watch. And this is pathetic too. He bombs Iran. He supports Israel in its mass slaughter genocide in Gaza. He avoids the draft to Vietnam while the kids of the non-privileged were sent to this manufactured war in Vietnam. And then posts on his social media this video that seems to find it funny when you bomb another country. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the President of the United States running a cult which, at least at the extreme end, is called MAGA. And where it goes from here, well, who can tell? Anything is possible. So that's the public section of the Dot Connector this week. And to see the rest, go to iconic.com after 5 p.m. UK every Thursday. And there's more coming up about Gaza and the horrific numbers of dead civilians, women and kids, that is being kept from the public record.